Breakfast! Well, dressing gown's on. I've brushed my teeth with this shit. So, that can only mean one thing. It's match day! Blades fans, and welcome to Beer and Breakfast for another fine match day. One that we can't wait to get into. One that we're so looking forward to in this glorious season. Oh, for fuck's sake, are we really playing again? Can't we have a break? Such a quick fucking turnaround. First of all, sorry for the low video quality on my recording end. I still haven't quite got this little temporary setup going with the proper camera yet, so I'm using the integrated webcam. Always known for its fine quality and recording. So of course today we are playing Aston Villa. Because of the quick turnaround I haven't had time to do a match review. I had to combine the last two videos into one. I'm struggling to get this out for a morning time. If it makes it to an afternoon, look, it's not my fault. Give me a break. I'm just one man! Because essentially this will be taking the place of Next Up and being its own solo show this week. The fans will be integrated into today's morning show. So, a little bonus for you. Don't usually get that on a match day. Might make the video a bit long, but hey, if you can sit through it, you're a trooper. Remember, if you do like our videos, do go down there, stop doing that. Do go down there, do hit subscribe, do hit the bell. Then you'll be notified every time we put a video online. Great stuff. You'll enjoy it, you'll not regret it, you might regret it. I am just one man, so there might be things that I wanted to put in this video that are missing. I've had to do it all myself in such a quick turnaround, but that does lead to some exciting opportunities. I will be looking for students, mainly, because they're free. Yeah, I'll be looking for digital media students. Maybe they haven't been able to get anything done during the lockdown period. I'm looking for some assistants that can be written off as work experience for you, so you can stick it in your CV. Further details will come. I'll put them out on social media. But if you want to get involved, you know, quick, give me a shout. I'm easy to talk to. It'd make my life fucking easy. I might get more than 5 minutes, Kip! Anyway, rambled on. I've rambled on and on and on. Let's get straight into it with By the Numbers.
Will he go it alone? Ollie Watkins sets himself looking for number 7, driving into the north corner. Grealish put it on a plate with good mate John McGinn.
Interesting stats here. It makes me very, very, very grateful that Grealish won't be playing. Very fucking grateful. You might have seen he's in the thumbnail. That is for no other reason than to try and grab viewers. It's a clickbait thumbnail. Who'd have thought it here on YouTube, eh? But looking at the teams that we could possibly put out there, I know, well, rather than me ramble on and you have to stare at my face, let's put up some fancy graphics and look at my preferred 11 for the game. So here's my preferred Sheffield United 11. Aaron Ramsdale, brilliant game last game. Obviously he starts. I'd be dropping Stevens for this game and putting Ben Osborne on the left. Just think it's a better option at the moment. The rest of it is out of necessity looking at that back line. Yeah, I'll be putting David McGoldrick as a number 10 in this game. Just try something new. We need to try something different. And up top, I'll be playing Burke and Brewster. I just think this is the kind of game where we need that kind of pace up front. Very different from the last game. I think Burke and Brewster could really offer something together with McGoldrick kind of pulling the strings behind him. We will miss Norwood, but we need to try something different. Again, Stevens not really being in form, so give Osborne the left hand side. That back line just fills me with dread. far too energetic this morning. I don't know where those extra energies come from. Bearing in mind I've been editing all fucking night. Oh, that's where! A lot of people have been asking me what I think to Wilder's comments. Indifferent, really. I love the man to pieces and I want to see him stay. No one man's bigger than the club. I do think it'll be a massive, massive mistake if we lose him. And I will blame the board. Head to toe. And I'll blame certain fans who seem to have an agenda because we're not top at fucking Premier League. Grow up, you fucking idiots. So yeah, leads nicely on to manager comments. Let's jump into the manager's pre-game comments.
We all get far too much credit when things go well. And we get far too much stick when things go the other way. And Aaron will understand that as much as anybody, as much as I do. So you deal with that in the way that Aaron will deal with it. He's a level-headed young man. I really like him as a person, not just as a footballer. And he's had to take some this year, and he's shown the right reaction, as we will always try to do. Show that right reaction to disappointment and failure and setbacks, in which he has. And there's no hiding place for Aaron, and he's done what he needed to do, which was work hard and produce the performances which we're all seeing now. We would all love to be this big, confident, believing footballer, football club. But when you get the results that we've had, when you suffer defeats by the slightest of margins, when you don't take your chances, when you make mistakes, when your best players are not fit, these all are things that impact on a performance. And individually, from Aaron's point of view, it's a tough gig for him to come in, and when the team's not going well, as it is for all the young players, because we were expecting to do better than what we did, and Aaron was expecting for that 5 to be in place and the 3 in front of him to be in place, and not making mistakes in front of him and making the saves that he would have to do. What happened last year that the goalkeeper who played for us did, and to pick more points up, and this to be a lot more of a comfortable season for us. But and that's what happens in the Premier League. You have to deal with it. Like I said, we've all had the praise, and we have to take the negativity that comes with the results and the responsibility that we all have to take when you don't win. So, but we'll take it, and Aaron's took it, and he's done what he needs to do, which is bounce back and produce good performances. I know Ryan's frustrated at the moment, but that's a decision that a manager has to take on the inside of a football club, knowing what's best for the team, what's best for the football club. Everything I do, by the way, is the best for the football club, not personal, best for the football club. And the decisions I've made about Ryan have been for the best of Sheffield United. Same as Aaron, keep working hard in training. Opportunities will come his way, and he will take them, because he was signed by everybody. All of us, we all signed him. Put a presentation to the board. Board ticked it off, and he's a good player. England under-21 international, and he's a good player. It's been a difficult start for his Sheffield United career, but he'll come good and he'll score goals. And as we all will, we'll look at this period with a lot of disappointment. But on reflection, we'll learn. We will all learn, and we'll all move forward, and we'll all be better with it.
He's not travelling with us. We'll decide whether we can get him on the training ground later in the week. He's working with the doctor and the rehab staff every day. Yeah, it's frustrating because he's a top player, and would be a better team having him in it. But it's one of them things, players get injured. That's we've all seen that, and we're playing Sheffield United, who've had their fair share of injuries this season themselves. So it happens, and it's how you cope without them top players. Oh, without a shadow, Chris knows the club really, really well. They're still fighting. They won't believe they're down yet, but it's looking hard for them. But they've had some key players. Dean Henderson, the goalkeeper, left. Jack O'Connell's been out most of the season. So they've lost some key players at key times, and having been through that ourselves last year, losing John McGinn, Wesley, and Tom Heaton, it's very difficult to be really good competitors in this league when you've lost key players. I've come across and known Chris for a long time, and I don't doubt their professionalism and pride and in every game that they play. And knowing Chris as I do, they will be ready for every game. I think you saw that against Liverpool on Sunday. A really good spirit about their team. There's certainly no chance that they will give up in any game. Sheffield United got promoted with a very steady team, and that team stayed together in that first season in the Premier League and were excellent. And unfortunately, they've lost some key players, and that can affect you. We were pretty much the opposite, where we had to rebuild a team for the Premier League, and that took time. So we probably entered the league in different ways, but the thing that's always important is that you try and keep them key players fit and in your team, because you've got a chance of competing against the best in the league when you do that. Well, I think the word complacency is always one where you can look at the position in the league rather than the actual players, the team, the management. We've watched that game against Liverpool the weekend, and there was certainly no white flags up from Sheffield United, and none that I expect to be up either. They'll be fighting till the end, and that's what I expect from that team. And we certainly have to be right on it against Sheffield United. There's no easy games in this league, and I think the fact that Sheffield United go to Manchester United, who were second in the league at the time, and get a victory proves that.
Yeah, looking at those predicted teams, I could be miles away, but I think that they're pretty much what they're going to be. That back line, it's just awful. It's old, it's decrepit, and then either side of old and decrepit, you've got Dumb and Dumber. The sooner one goes back to Chelsea, the better, and sooner one leaves and maybe goes back to Bolton, the better, really. I'll always be thankful for that goal against Man U, but it's just not my type of player. I just don't think he's good enough for the Premiership or the Championship. I just don't think he has a future at the club, unfortunately. It's a shame, because another one of players that could have had potential and just never really seen it. Story of our fucking life. Let's get you into a happy mood now. Let's go to the fountains of positivity that are the fans.
Do you remember last season when we were up in the top half looking to get to Europe about March time, and we were thinking Villa are definitely going to go down? Weird how a year changes things in football, innit? God, they didn't look at absolutely anything this time last season. They were hanging on to Grealish, and they signed two players that we wanted to sign in the summer, and they've got a bit more structured, and they're up there challenging for Europe, and deservedly so if you've watched them this season. They've been playing good stuff, so you can't really knock them, but it does leave a bitter taste knowing that, I don't want to say that could have been us, because we were up there last season and that was brilliant, and I wouldn't change that for the world. But yeah, it does leave a bitter taste seeing it completely reverse in just a year. And like I said, I wanted to touch on this actually. It seems a bit irrelevant and out of the blue, but Roy Keane's recruitment comments, can people stop just loving in on Roy Keane when he just says things that have no basis at all? Because anyone can say our recruitment's been poor, but when you look at the players we tried to sign, and we're just we can't compete in wages, that's why we didn't sign them. Look at Watkins for that, look at Eze for that. It's not that difficult to figure out. We signed the best players that we can. And I'm not saying the recruitment's been good, but yeah, Villa pipped us to it. Fair enough. They've got more ways to chuck around, and they've chucked it around well. And I can't really see us getting anything, which I'm going to say before every game at the end of the season now, but I can't. But who knows? We're at home. That doesn't really mean much, but might prove me wrong. Come on, Plains.
Right, so I thought I'd go on BBC Sport, have a look at the stats, see who's out, see what the team news is ahead of tomorrow's game. I see that Grealish is out. Probably good news, possibly good news. But I do think last season, certainly when we played teams that had like single talismanic focal point figures, we managed to mark them out of the game quite well, such as Grealish and Zaha, stuff like that. You get strong tackles in on them, get inside their heads, and it can stop them playing as free flowing as they usually do. But we'll have to see about that. Mark Lawrenson's got it down as a 1-1 draw, which surprises me, seeing as Villa are unbeaten in the last 3 away games, conceding no goals, and we're without a win in 4, and I think we've not scored in 3 of them. So if we score, I'll be amazed. But saying that, Billy Sharp's not got a bad record against him. Can I see him starting? Yeah, I can see Billy starting. I'd personally go for Didsey and Burke. I think we need to play Burke because we just look a lot more threatening when he's on the pitch. He can, them byline runs that he makes where he kind of goes around the back of a defence. If he can do that and he can actually pick out a man in the middle of the box, we've got a tactic there. We've got a strategy of at least getting in on goal. I can't see anything other than Aston Villa win, but a draw isn't out of the question. Fingers crossed for a Blades win. Love the Blades.
Quick preview for the Aston Villa game. Not really sure what to expect, to be honest with you, pal. I think I could see it going either way, to be honest. Obviously, I think we're dead and buried now. I think everyone's accepted that, but we will keep fighting, I'm sure of that. I'm sure Wilder won't let the lads just go out without a fight. You know, I know the results haven't been going, but that's one thing I can't say against us. You know, it's not for the lack of effort, you know, it's just for the lack of quality and silly mistakes. So I think, you know, Villa, a side that have much improved this year to last year, and they're pushing probably for top 6, maybe a bit like we were last year, looking at maybe sneaking into the Europa League if they can do. So I think it'll be a tough game. I know Grealish hasn't played the last few for Villa, so hopefully that can continue, because I think they're a totally different side without him in the team. But you know, they've still got quality players. I think just on us, I think team selection, we can't really do much more. Whether he chucks some of the young kids in yet, I don't think he'll do that, to be honest. You know, the likes of Van Dijk, Ackford, Brunt, Kai Gordon have all been on the bench this year, but I don't see him chucking them in just yet. Maybe towards the end of the season, a couple of them might get sub appearances here and there. So I think the goalkeeper, the defence and midfield pretty much picks itself, just purely down to the lack of options. And I think, you know, the one place we do have options, but no one's staking the claim for that place is striker. You know, McBurney and Didsey the other night, but they did all right. You know, I thought McBurney played all right, and I saw him get a little bit of stick, but for me, he did okay. And McGoldrick, for me, we play better when McGoldrick plays well. So for me, it'd be McGoldrick definitely in the team, and then for me, I'd love to Brewster to start. I think, you know, for now, let's just say to him, you know, there's 12 games left. You've got, you know, Chris Wilder should just say to him, Ryan, you've got 12 games. As long as you put 100% effort in those 12 games, you're going to be starting. Give the lads some confidence, and 1 goal might lead to 2, and then 3, then 4, maybe even 5 before the end of the year. And then he goes into the next season full of confidence. Scoreline, like I say, I think it could go anywhere, but I'll be positive, and I'm going to go 2-1 Sheffield United.
Hey guys, quick one for Johnny at Shoreham View, previewing Villa game. I'm so dejected at the minute with where things are going, so I just hope we can get a win. I don't care if it comes off someone's nutsack or whatever. I just think we just need a win, really, or a point, just something to beat Derby's record. McBurney and Brewster for me up top. I'd definitely consider playing a 10 and playing 2 holding midfielders rather than wide men, using the wingers to get forward, up and down. I'd consider dropping Stevens as well for Osborne if Osborne's fit enough. I'd like to see Bogle back if he's alright, but you never know these days. Back three's not really going to change, is it? Let's be honest. I mean, Jagielka's probably going to have to play, and he'll be walking with a right limp after that. So yeah, there's not really much to say, is there? To be honest, I've I've given as good as I've possibly got all season with regards to what I want to see and what I want to do, and we're no better off. We're 11 points better off than first 10 games, so it is what it is. Hopefully Blades can get some sort of roll going, beat Villa. Fuck them, I hate them. Hopefully Jack Grealish is injured, and yeah, let's just hope we can find a decent performance and have something to praise. Come on, Blades.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Tufty Club Discuss Their Haircuts, or Villa Preview I think we're supposed to be doing. Yours is under wraps today, your haircut.
Oh, it's shocking. I'm keeping it
Well,
covered up.
We've had some feedback from the last one anyway. Roy, of Roy's View From, has decided you don't look like Sean Derry, you look like Mark Howard. So his view from his sofa is that you look like Mark Howard. So there's you've gone even worse from a mediocre ex-player to a rubbish one. So there you go.
I'm not thinking aesthetics. I'd take Howard over Derry, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's quite a revelation, isn't it? You basically saying you fancy Mark Howard. Anyway, what's with the shirt today?
Well, I'm going through various relegation shirts. I may dip into the 70s next time for that worst ever season. I think I've got a yellow shirt from them, or a white shirt. So I've gone 93, 94. I don't know if you can remember this. Fetching blue and sort of purple with a green stripe. I don't know what they were thinking when they designed it, but it weirdly quite works. Over time, I think it's grown on me, this shirt.
I didn't think it was
not physically grown on me.
Love a sash.
It's actually shrank and I can barely fit in it.
Yeah. It's a bit Miss World, isn't it, with a sash on it?
Yeah. Nice.
Miss Relegation.
Yeah, so another relegation tribute shirt.
Good. Well, that's something cheery to think of, isn't it? That's the relegation. You're going to run out of shirts, though. We've got that many games left, even though we're relegated. You're going to run out of relegation shirts. Talking about relegation, next loss will be at home to Villa. What's your thoughts?
It's really hard now to kind of. I love watching United, but even on TV, you know, it's like a highlight of your week. It always has been. It's something. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think what happened there is your internet completely cut out, which obviously is when your son's supposed to be homeschooling. That's a big indicator that he's actually on his Xbox. Yeah, you started out by saying I used to like it watching it on the telly, and then you rambled in the middle. I missed that bit. You finished off by saying, but now it's depressing, and that pretty much sums it up. It is still the kind of almost, because we're still in proper lockdown, it is almost still a highlight of the week, but almost in a bit of a perverse way. How's it going to go bad today? You know, like obviously we're doing the podcast. What am I going to find to talk about? You know, in this defeat, and you just can't see where the next point's coming from, next goal, next shot on target. You know, it's just, yeah, it's not very good, is it?
No, it feels like you're almost watching it as a chore. Like you've got to watch it because it's your football team, and why would you not watch it?
Yeah.
At the moment. What would you do with Art? I mean, you have this pointless discussion every week. What's he going to do with the team? But it's made easy now because goal is going to be the same, defence is going to be the same, unless he drops Stevens, which he probably should do for Lowe or Osborne. Midfield's going to be the same, unless somehow he decides, why am I playing Lundstram? He's going to be here and bring someone in, but then he's got no one he can bring in. The only excitement is his roulette around those strikers as he moves them around, and they make no difference because they're all about as bad as each other. Would you do anything different?
It's finding that combo, isn't it? It's finding that combination of whose limited qualities offset the other one's absolute rubbish. So I think someone mentioned it on one of the forums today. I had a quick look before I came on here. Do you pick, say, one is not tried, which is Sharp and Burke? Because one can finish, supposedly, the other certainly can't, unless you're talking about finishing a corner flag off by hitting it. One can move quick, the other barely moves. You know what I mean? It's like they sort of offset each other almost, and that's kind of what he's looking at the minute. You know, he's picking big cone, little cone. He's got McBurney and Sharp. Neither of them move much. I don't know. It's just not brilliant. Whatever he picks, is it? Getting your news feed as we speak.
I don't know what
2030 World Cup. We might be hosting it.
Old news that. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not. Not pick Hillsborough as a ground if they do. It's controversial. At least we get this one over and done with early. Tea time, sort of kick off, so we don't have to wait it out before we watch the latest defeat. Assuming you're going for another defeat prediction.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, you can just cut in this bit, which is I'm going to say either 1 or 2-0 for a crap team, or 2 or 3-0 for a good team. These are somewhere in the middle, so I think I'm going to go 2-0 again. I'm
going to be bold, and we haven't scored. You could probably discount that Chelsea own goal, because that's a bit of a stretch claiming that as one of our goals. It goes in the record books, but we haven't scored since Sharp scored against West Brom, so it's like four games, or 3 if you count the Chelsea, 3.5 games count that Chelsea own goal. We're going to get a goal. We can't not score. I think Burke's going to score. We're going to lose 2-1.
Good luck with that.
Well, it's another game coming up, and I guess can't get up for it. I'm just not excited to watch them anymore at the moment, which is disappointing. Still will though. We'll probably end up losing, probably 2-0. I just can't see us getting a goal. I would like to see a change up front. Brewster, I don't understand why he's not getting played. Just give him a chance. He needs a good run of games. If we're going to use him for Championship next season, why are we not playing him? Just get him up there. Him and Burt probably, or is Burt better coming off the bench? Don't know. Apart from front two, I'd probably just like to keep the same team since we've got nobody else to choose from. And I just get a good go. Hope for the best.
So, move on to Villa now. Liverpool out at way. As I expected, I suppose. Standard. Just ticking games off now. Let's get to the end of the season. Villa quite impressed me this season, them actually. It'll be a tough game, especially if Grealish is back fit. We haven't got a lot of choices, have we? It's just about tinkering with forwards. The rest of the team virtually picks itself. Just want to beat that 11 points, get another point on, just to make sure. But now they're trying hard, just lacking that quality. I thought Wilder's interview after the match the night was spot on. Onwards and upwards, Blades.
Quick look at what the Villa fans are saying. One says this is just a case of how many we're going to score. Another one says I'd love to batter these and improve our goal difference. Another one says we should be beating these easy. There's a reason they're bottom. Another one says there's no two ways about it. Sheffield United are a very poor team. And another one says Sheffield United are piss poor all over the park. Their defence gets tied in knots when players run at them. Their midfield has no quality whatsoever, and their forward line is as potent as a chocolate button. I'd like to argue against these Villa fans and just give them some of this, but I can't. So, not like that so far. I didn't mean to get like a umpire and Mr. Pie in his sexual videos. No. On to Wednesday.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you you'd be positive after that? They're such a great group of positive individuals. They all think the club's going to flourish. We're all missing football. We're all missing Bramall Lane especially. As you saw last week, we debuted a new feature with Hal from Sheffield United Away. Thank you, Hal. Go and watch a watch along later on today. It's going to be quality. It always is. But it's now time to take a look at another Sheffield United fan in The Lane is Calling.
I'm Big Kev. Been a Blade for a lifetime. Last few weeks have seemed like a lifetime, but I have been a Blade for a lifetime. I went to a few games when I was really young, which I don't remember. My first full season, first game I actually remember, but it started 67-68 season. We played Nottingham Forest at home, I remember in the first game, and lost 3-1 and ended up getting relegated that season. So that's how my life's been all the way through. I think right from 1967-68 season, we've had one all the way through, never missed, we've been there all the time, and that's what life's all about, being a season ticket holder and being proud to be. So I think the one year I did miss, I actually went in army when I was 15 years old. I went in the army as an apprentice, so I didn't get one that season. I went in army I went in the May, and I came back out again in September, I think it was, because I just couldn't cope with missing United, and that is the absolute truth. I mean, it's just a way of life for me. My ex-wife used to say to me, you love United more than you love me, and I used to say to her, I love Wednesday more than I love Leeds. It's been a way of life all the way through. All my life we've sat on cop. Well, we stood on cop in early days. We used to stand right down at bottom corner, which later became disabled pen, and then when we got seated on cop, we moved up right on top of the U on the SUFC. There were our seats on cop, and a year later I think we moved right up into the very back corner. My seat is the very back corner seat on cop, where all noise happens. It's our life, isn't it? It's what we do. It's passion for it. It's just as I said, my brother, he actually died watching United at Burnley, and that, I guess that's the way I want to go as well. Still on that cop. Not being able to go at matches is just heartbreaking, really. It's our life. It's what we do. Going and having a drink with lads, going to match. It's just it's what we do, and it's just everything's just seemed so. Our corner is, well, it's where all noise comes from, basically. Everybody will tell you that. It's always a really friendly atmosphere up there. There's never a single bad word between anybody. Big Rob. And if anybody doesn't want to join in the singing, then I'm sure Big Rob will do his best to tell them what he thinks of them, sort of thing. So it is where all noise comes from. It's our corner, and wouldn't want it any other way. Match day routine. Usually it's me driving every bugger around, so I have to sort of keep the drink to a minimum when I'm driving. No, I'm not drink at all, of course, but obviously when we go to an away game, we more than make up for that, unless again I'm driving to it. But usually it's we go into Clubhouse, as was Hermitage, as was a million other different names, but it's Clubhouse is our regular home, and from there we walk down to Lane, get in just in time for kick-off and let it begin. My dad, we're a massive Unitedite. All my brothers, I've got four brothers, they're all Unitedites. So unfortunately, one of my brothers actually died watching United away at Burnley in 1993. But it's just a family tradition, always has been, always will be. I remember it's difficult really because wife's side of the family are bloody strange people. They're sort of good at other end of the city. And I always remember me soon-to-be father-in-law trying to put Johnny into a Wednesday shirt, and it sort of got ripped off him and told that no way any son of mine would ever go to that end of the city. And now I've got Johnny and Ben, they both go to all games with me, and my grandson now, he's been with me for the last 4 years, so he thinks this is what life's all about, being a Blade, just 100% success. And I've told him all along, don't get used to it, sunshine, because it ain't gonna happen. And we've been proved right this season. Well, when teams come out, it's just gives you that buzz. It's just they're here. This is it. We're in. We're ready to go. Except in Adkins' season when we wanted them to go back other way. But yeah, it's just a buzz. It gives you that buzz. Even now, after what 56 years, I think the one thing I can't wait to actually do when we get back inside that ground is, and I'm sure we'll all be in tears when we're doing it, is singing Annie's song. My senses!
like a coward on my blues, like a packet of woodbine, like a good pinch of snuff, like a night out in Sheffield, like a greasy chip butty, like Sheffield United, come fill me again.
Quite emotional, that one, really, weren't it? It's old Big Kev bringing it to you. I would have thought it. I think that's probably the perfect place to end it. I think Kev's stolen the show, really, which will be music to his ears, the big egotistical fat bastard. Before we do go, though, let's take a look what else is out there in the Blades media world. As always, over on The View From, Roy's collected all the best pre-match comments from the Villa fans. Think a lot of themselves, these lot. Hopefully we can upset the odds and stuff it up then. Coming up, we've got Air of the Dog here on the Shoreham View. That's a match reaction with sarcasticness galore. We're on a promise tomorrow, but I promise nothing. And later on today, we've got the watch along live with Nick and Hal over on the Sheffield United way. Well worth a watch. And of course, there's all the great Sheffield United podcasts. You've got Tufty Club. Their discussions are random and hilarious. You've got Blades Pod, as we have a cathartic look at some past terrible games to make us feel slightly better about what we're watching right now. And for Blades in a pub, you have to go back to their library. They've got some really memorable podcasts with some great guests and well worth a listen. All three great podcasts. Plenty to keep you entertained here on this match day and beyond. So let's get into this match. Let's hope the players prove us wrong. Let's hope a miracle happens. We can still stay up! The Great Escape is on!